Homage to the fundamental teacher Buddha Shakyamuni, homage to the wisdom warrior Manjushri, homage to all the lineage benevolent masters. Dharma, infinitely profound and subtle, is rarely encountered even in the million eons. Now we are able to hear, study, and follow it. May we fully realize the Tathagata's true meaning. In order to liberate all sentient beings from samsara, please generate the supreme bodhicitta. This is the last lesson on the praises to the 21 Taras. By the end of this lesson, the noble qualities of the 21 Taras and benefits of this practice will be introduced completely. I can expound this praise in detail as there are sadhanas and texts of the Tara practice in both Chinese and Tibetan. However, the main purpose of my teaching this time is to briefly introduce to you the extraordinary benefits of Tara practice. Thus, I hope that you can apply what you have learned in these lectures in your daily lives. If possible, I hope that practitioners in monasteries, Dharma centers, and other Buddhist groups can recite this praise as well. I noticed that many of you could recite this praise fluently. This is important as this prayer is often recited in Dharma assemblies in the Tibetan region. So it's best that you can recite it in Tibetan. This praise is commonly recited in Dharma assemblies in India and other places as well. Some Dharma friends can chant it very well after attending a Dharma assembly elsewhere. There hasn't been a tradition of reciting this praise in mainland China before. Now we have two melodies to recite this praise in Chinese, and you can choose either tune. Both chantings that are performed by the monks or the nuns work fine. I hope that you can spread this praise extensively in monasteries and Dharma centers in the mainland China. If the sound of praising Tara can spread across different Buddhist groups, I believe that many obstacles related to Dharma propagation will be removed, whereas favorable conditions for individuals' practice will gather. So I will encourage you all to make an effort for it. Now, let's continue with the praises to the 21 Taras. As I mentioned previously, many precedented masters had an auspicious connection with Tara. During the course, we don't have enough time to introduce the experiences of general practitioners who had received Tara's blessing. But I had shared with you a few cases of those great masters. Many masters in India and Tibetan regions had lots of miraculous experiences with Tara. One of them being Bhavideva, the author of the 50 stanzas on following a teacher. We may learn this treatise in the future. It's said that his composition of the 50 stanzas on following a teacher was very much related to the blessing of Tara. At first, his Dharma activity wasn't too influential, though he was expertise in Buddha Dharma. So he wanted to make a pilgrimage to a statue in eastern India. To get to that place, he needed to cross the ocean. He was captured during his voyage by some inhabitants from certain remote island and was taken to the island that they resided. He suffered a lot mentally because he could neither teach the Dharma nor benefit beings. He prayed to Tara wholeheartedly, and Tara appeared in his dream and instructed him. Just sleep with your head towards the direction you want to go, then you will arrive there. He was very eager to go back to his homeland, so he slept with the head towards his homeland accordingly. When he woke up, he surely returned to his hometown. But as he returned to his monasteries, great changes had taken place. Many great masters had passed away. Young monastics were influenced by new trends of thought. It was even more challenging than before for Bhavideva to expand his Dharma activity. Feeling upset and annoyed, he attributed the failure of his Dharma activity to the islanders who created adverse troubles for him. To vent his anger and revenge those beings, he made the threatening gesture and recited the wrathful mantras. The island where the inhabitants resided sank into the ocean. Later, Bodhideva felt really regretful about his misdeeds. In order to purify this grave negativity, he resolved to prostrate from India to Mount Utai, the sacred place that Manjushri resides. But Tara told him in his dream that only by prostrating to Mount Utai cannot purify your karmic debts. If you really want to purify this negativity, you need to compose a treatise that could guide people to attain Buddhahood swiftly. This can purify your negative karma. After years of meticulous contemplation, Bodhideva realized that among all practices, the swiftest way to attain Buddhahood is to rely on qualified Dharma teachers appropriately. That's why he composed the 50 stanzas on following a teacher. Although this treatise is very brief, it was written under the instruction of Tara. This work provides a collection of profound pith instructions, which is essential for attaining Buddhahood in one lifetime.
我们也想到了，很多的这些大德呢，为什么修成度母之后呢？对大家对自
After attaining accomplishments in Tara practice, a lot of masters of the past also made breakthroughs in their own practice, as well as in the expansion of their Dharma activities. Many Dharma friends here genuinely wish to complete your Dharma practice smoothly in your lives. More than that, some aspire to do what you can to benefit beings and propagate the Dharma. Yet your abilities may fall short of your expectation. In that case, it won't help, no matter how eager you wish to achieve your goal. It must be done with skillful means, one of which is to pray to Tara. To benefit beings with Tara practice is very effective. There are plenty of stories about Tara in India and Tibetan region. Here's another story from a biography of a Tibetan master. It is a story of Gyaltse Tokme Sampo, the author of the 37 practices of all the Bodhisattvas. I translated his biography into Chinese before. Once he left his hometown to Lhasa and was walking along a big river. He saw 7 or 8 people crossing the river on the horseback. Suddenly, they were all pulled away by the torrents when crossing the center. Tokme Sampo was so worried that he prayed to Tara immediately.
那那个时候呢，非常戏剧般的，大多数的人除了一匹马和一个人。
Miraculously, the whole group re-emerged to the surface and quickly arrived at the bank, except for one man and his horse. They were all safe and sound except that one man and his horse.
那这个时候呢，他看见那个人啊，已经沉在里面了，沉在里面。
When the man and his horse were about to be engulfed by the water,
出现一位身体高大的，身上呢穿着白色铺路的一个人。
A tall man in white pulu, with a grass belt around his waist, appeared behind Tokme Sampo out of nowhere.
这样的一个人呢，出现，说是我来，去救他们，结果。
He said eagerly, "I will go save them." And he dived right into the river, swam to the person, and pulling up to the bank. After the man and his horse arrived at the riverbank safely, the tall man in white disappeared without anyone noticing. Everyone was astounded by this, as well as Tokme Sampo. Tokme Sampo asked, "What just happened? What a miracle!" Those beside him replied, "It should be the blessing of Tara. The man should be a manifestation of Tara." Tongwing Zanpo agreed, "It should be the blessing of Tara. As long as we pray devotedly, the three jewels will never deceive us." In our daily lives, when obstacles or adverse conditions occur to oneself or a group, it is of vital importance that we pray to Tara. Also, individuals who often run into unfavorable conditions or some tricky problems that require immediate solution should pray to Tara. This is crucial. I'm sure that you will have your own experiences when praying to Tara. Then, maybe we can compile a book of respective experiences for praying to Tara. However, we must be sure that the experiences collected are all truthful. It should be alright to share these stories if they are authentic. In biographies of many former masters, their miraculous experiences related to Tara and other deities are recorded.
我想那个就是大家呢，就是应该是好好的啊，就是随时随地都是就是要这个祈祷度母。
I think we should pray to Tara sincerely at all times,
解除自他的一切痛苦。
so the suffering of ourselves and others can be dispelled. Please take note of this.
其实我们这个祈祷的时候呢，就是杜牧师就是平时在这个我们的这个身边啊。
In fact, Tara is with us all the time.
就是弟子啊，就是方宇教授有一个女性的方宇。
Professor Yu Fang, a female Chinese student of NOLA who talked to, had lived for about 100 years. She had gained an accomplishment in the practice of Tara. There is an analogy that she often used in which she referred Buddha Amitabha as the president, Avalokiteshvara as the provincial governor or the mayor, whereas Tara being the neighborhood officer. She said, "It's rather difficult to have the president, the provincial governor, or the mayor to fix your problems, but it is fairly easy to find a neighborhood officer for help." This is an emanation of both Amitabha and Avalokiteshvara, and we can seek her help anytime. This is kind of a mundane analogy, but it suggests that the manifestations of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are inconceivable. Tara is no different from Amitabha and Avalokiteshvara. She will bestow her blessing for everything in our daily lives. So, pray to Tara in all circumstances. Tibetans seek help from Tara with all kinds of things. Even when a thief is about to steal, he will pray to Tara to make sure that he could come back unharmed. Now we will continue with the third topic of B3, praise for her activities, which is C3, praise for the activity of cleansing poisons. Homage to you, who hold in your hand a moon clear and bright as a divine lake, with Tara twice, and then with Pat. You totally cleanse all poisons. Here, who are we paying homage to? Tara Mahamayuri or Droma Mabja Chenmo, the Tara who is majestic as the great Peihen, or the Tara who cleanses poisons. Peihen has the power to neutralize all poisons, whether it is the venom of Nagas or ailment caused by the Nagas. So, in some texts, this Tara is called Tara majestic as the great Pehen, or the Tara who cleanses poisons. This Tara is white in color. Who hold in your hand a moon clear and bright like a divine lake means that she holds the stem of an Uttala flower on which there is a clear and bright full moon. The full moon is as bright as the lake of the white nectar in the celestial realm. So, the moon under Uttala flower is as bright and clear as a lake of nectar in the God's realm. The moonlight can dispel the three inner poisons of greed, hatred, and ignorance of all these, and counteract all the outer toxicants like mixed poisons, food poisons, and poisons infected simply by seeing a certain kind of venomous nagas. All toxicants can be counteracted by the radiance of this moon. With Tara twice and then with Pat refers to the way to recite her mantra. The mantra consists of Tara twice and Pat once. It is Om Dare Dudare Dure Sara Visha Tara Pat. It is longer than the root mantra of Tara, Om Dare Dudare Dure Soha, by adding Sara Pisha Tara Pat before Soha. So, this mantra has double Tara and one Pat. It will be Om Dare Dudare Dure Sara Pisha Tara Pat Soha. It's okay to have Soha here by reciting this mantra with Tara twice and then Pat. You totally cleanse all of the poisons. Among all the outer, inner, and secret poisons, the poison of self-grasping is the most terrifying one. All ordinary beings are harmed by it. So we need to remove this poison as well as all poisons from the external environment. We should pray to Tara to protect us from being contaminated both mentally and physically. All kinds of poisonous conditions can be remedied through the blessing of this Tara. In other words, all hostile conditions caused by poisons can be eliminated by the blessing of this Tara. There's a story in India. Once, there was a very beautiful prostitute who was very pleasing to her clients. With her lovely appearance, she attracted many people. Once, a merchant gave her a necklace of 500 pearls to spend one night with her. The prostitute accepted and was preparing to go to the merchant's house. She set off at nightfall, and there was a forest on her way. Halfway through, she got tired and took a break under a tree. Unexpectedly, a venomous snake snuck up and coiled itself around the lady. Her greediness for the date was soon replaced by a great fear. Then she recalled that praying to Tara would remove all obstacles, including the harm from poisonous snakes. So she prayed to Tara desperately. And soon, a sense of compassion arose in the snake's mind and it released the girl. No matter what kind of danger we are in, we need to pray to Tara. There is another story in India. A young girl met a mad elephant on her way to gather flowers in the forest. This elephant was so out of control that it trampled anyone it met to death. The bloodshed was terrifying at sight. The elephant caught the girl with its trunk
就是让这个杀害准备杀害
and was about to
他就
kill
是
her.
突然就是在心里面就是让这个生气就祈祷杜牧的这种这个
Suddenly, the young
然后
girl
他一祈祷
remembered
杜
the
牧的
name of
时候呢
Tara
当时
and prayed to her
在大象的相续
wholeheartedly.
当中呢，就是生气这种慈爱的这
Compassion
个心
arose
然后
within
呢
the
就是接
elephant's
下来
mind,
就是把这个少
and
女
it
呢
was
就是
brought under
就是
control.
放在一个这个人来
Then
人
the
往的一个
elephant
这
set
个
her
密集城
down
市
in
当
the
中
town
然后呢就是
marketplace
向她
and
这个敬礼
prostrated to
然后
her.
由呢就是把这个少女呢就是她带到这个寺院里面，就是向
It
她
picked
进
up
行
the
这个
girl
敬礼
to the
然后由
temple
把
and
她带到这
prostrated
个
again.
皇宫里面，就是大象呢就是向她进行敬礼
Lastly,
后来
the
呢
elephant
就
brought
是
her
因为
to
这
the
个皇
gate
宫
of
这
the
个
palace.
这个王子的话呢，就是更要这个就是要这个接近
The
这个
prince
结
of
婚
the
这个
country
时候
was
后
at
来
the
呢
right
就
age
是
for
他们
marriage.
就开始觉得是就是像大象的是顶礼的这样的具有福报的，那么就是这个女子
People were
的话呢，
convinced
就是
that the
应该
girl
配得
must
上
be of
这个
great
王
merits
子
that the
后来呢
elephant
就
showed
变
such
成了这个王
respect.
妃就变成了
The
王妃
king
所以
then
说
wed
呢
the girl
像
to the
那个杜
prince.
牧的这种加持的话呢，就是一般的
So,
一个非常普通的
anyone,
人呢就是
any
如果就
ordinary
是一心祈
person,
祷的话呢，
if
其实
praying
杜
to
牧
Tara
的这个赞
sincerely,
颂里面也是就是
will
讲
receive
讲
her powerful
就是如果
blessing.
你想得字的话呢，就是得这个字；
As
如
it
果你
is
想得
mentioned
财
in
呢，
the
就
praise,
是可以得财；
every
如
wish
果你
of
想
ordinary
得这
beings
个
can be
什么这
fulfilled
个
as
地位
long as
啊，
we
这个
pray to
财，
Tara
还有这个世
earnestly.
间的各种各样的
Whether
这
it's
些
the wish
人
for
们
having
就是需要
children,
的，就是所谓
wealth,
的平安，所
status,
谓的快
or
乐，
for
所谓
being
的这
safe,
些健
happy,
康
and
等等，就
healthy.
是这些呢，
All
都
of
是
these
依
can
靠
be
中国的
fulfilled
加
by the
持来就
blessing
是
of
可以得
Tara.
到的。就像我们汉传佛教
In
当中呢，
Han
就是其实这
Buddhism,
个观世音菩萨、救苦救难大
Avalokiteshvara
慈
is the
大悲
one who
观世音
helps
菩
the
萨。
needy
那么
ones
他
and
呢，就是
relieves
也
those
是
in
有
distress
相当
with
也是
great
这个
love and
杜牧
compassion.
就是那样的，就是他可能不仅是这个省长和市长，
So,
就是他
besides
其实
being
呢
the provincial
观音菩萨
governor
也
or
是
the
就是
mayor,
杜牧不上
the
班的时
role
候
of
呢，也是到
Avalokiteshvara
这个
sometimes
街道办公
resembles
室
that
里
of
面去这个
Tara.
当主任啊，就是
When
这
Tara is
也有
off
这样的。
work,
所以这个
Avalokiteshvara
杜牧呢
also
就是
works as the
就是
neighborhood
有
officer
很
to
多的
solve
这
our
种实
problems.
践当中的一些功
Tara
功德啊，
possesses
就是
many
大家应
noble
该
qualities
这
to
样这
fulfill
个
our worldly
明白，就
wishes,
是明白以
which
后
we
的
should
话呢，
know
我们
of.
对这个杜牧啊，就是会这
Knowing
个升
this,
起信
the
心，
devotion
甚
to
至我们
Tara
在路
will
上看到
arise
一
in
些
us.
石头这个做的
Even
这
when
个
we
石
see
像也好，
stone made
或
or
者
wooden
这个木匠也
statues
好，或者是画家画的，就
or
是
tankas
这
of
个
Tara,
唐卡，就是任何一个塑像的话呢，那么应该大家这个升起这
we
种
should feel
欢喜心
joyous
啊，
and
就是升
generate
起这种这个
veneration.
恭敬心。那么依靠这个恭敬心和欢喜心呢，
With
自
such
教学当中的
veneration
这
and
些
joy,
这个违缘
our
可以减少。
obscurations
有时候
can
我
be
们可以
dispelled.
看到这个历史上的一些
Sometimes
大
we
德
can
啊，其
see
实这些
those
大德
great
的话呢，
masters in
可能在
history
这个年轻的时
whom
候
at
呢，
their
应
young
该是
age
跟其他的
appeared
就
just
是
as common
普
as
通的人
ordinary
呢，就是
men.
应该有比较这个相同的地方啊，就是也许是可能完全是相同，就像米拉日巴
Or
前所说的那
they
样，
might be what
一起
Milarepa
相同。但
said,
是这些
they
大
were
德
just the
上面
same
自
as
己的
others
苦
before
修
practicing the
同
Dharma.
时呢，他有很多这个
However,
真正啊、护法
through
神
their
啊、有神
persistence
啊，他们
practice,
的这个护
as
持
well
和
as
保
the
佑，这
protection
样
and
以后的
blessing
话
from
呢，就一个
deities,
人也
Dharma
是弘法利
protectors,
生的
and
事业，就是
dakinis,
一展开以后呢，
their
就是
Dharma
无法这
activities
个
became
其他
incomparably
的这个
vast.
相比拟，就像梅峰仁波切在
Just as
二鬼教
Nippon
原理里
Rinpoche
面所
said
讲
in
的
the
一样的，就
treatise
是如果
on the
真的
modes
是有
of
一些
being,
本尊啊、护法神呢，
when
就是
one
来这
has
个
the
相助
support
保
and
佑你，
protection
那
from
这个时候
deities
呢，
and Dharma
虽然是
protectors,
他是一种这个独自一人，但是
even
他
one
的这
is
种
by
能力，
him or
他的各
herself,
方面的这种
his
这个
or
威
her
力的话呢，就是
capability
远
and
远超
power
过就是
can
上千万
surpass
的
that of
啊，就这一
thousands
点
of
呢，我
people.
们也是就是应该是这个有
I
目共
think
睹的
this
去
is
说明，
unquestionable
大
to
家
all of
一
us.
定要就是自己从内心当中呢，就是就遣除一切这个怀疑
We
啊、
should
邪念
dispel
啊、
all
邪
the
见啊
doubts
等
and
等
wrong
等。
views about
然后呢，
Buddhas
就
and
是一定要建
Bodhisattvas.
立一个特别就是正确的这种这个境
Instead,
界
we
啊，
must
对，然后呢，
establish
就
right
是经
views
常这个祈祷啊，
towards
在
these
生活当
noble
中呢，
beings
就
by
经常
Buddhist
这个
teachings
祈祷，就是就
and
是
pray
本身的从这
consistently
方
in
面
our
上
daily
还是应该
lives.
可以的，就是从小也许可能是这个环境的这个影响吧，就是不管是
Perhaps
什么，只要有一
influenced
点
by
是
the environment where I grew up, I always have immense faith and joy towards all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Whenever I have a little time, I will recollect and pray to them. Whenever I see their figures, may it be tankas or statues, I feel extremely joyful.
这也是我自己认为呢，是一种这个小小的这个善
I
良
think that this is a small root of virtues of mine. It's very important to everyone to cultivate such virtuous roots
下面呢
and habituate ourselves with virtuous thoughts.
第四个是那个
C4.
全除
Praise for the
真毒
activity for
真毒
clearing
恶魔
away
而战他
conflicts
就是
and
全除这
nightmares.
个真毒恶魔而战他。 敌你天王所敬慕，
Homage to
天人
you
非
who
人
is
见
honored
异
by
之。
divine kings
披
and
甲
served
欢
by
喜智
gods
为
and
德，
non-human
前途
spirits.
正途于恶者，
Armored
于
with the
恶魔。
splendor of joy, you
那
clear
么
away
就
nightmares
刚
and
才
soothe
就是
away
这个呢，就是
strife.
叫做是天王所敬慕，就是或者说是大白
This
三盖
Tara
母，就
is
是也可
called
以叫这个
Tara
大白三盖母
Ajitarajini
啊，就是我们
or
这个
Droma
其实
Mipangyamo, the
这
Tara who is
个
honored
杜
by
牧的
divine
话呢，就是
kings.
从这个发声角度
She is
看呢，
also
就是它
called
是那个
Siddhartha
莆
Patra,
谶，就是
the
莆
one
谶
with the
父母
white
啊，就是莆谶
parasol.
父母。然后从这个报圣这个上面呢，就是
From the
它也可以
Dhammakaya
成为
aspect,
这个金刚汉
Tara
或者是
is
金刚
Samanta
父的释迦
Badri.
牟。然后从化身层面
From
呢，
the
就是
Sambhagakaya
显现为这个
aspect,
妙音天女啊，
she
就是
is
当当时时代的
Vajravarahi
很多女性
or
这个
Vajrayogini.
天女啊，就是
From the
这个吉祥天女
Namanakaya
啊、
aspect,
妙音
she
天女啊，就是
appears
当
as
当一切
Swasti,
这个女性的。
Paudan
因此呢，
Lamo,
我们这个
and
祈
many
祷的
other
这个杜牧的
goddesses.
本体的话呢，就是应该是个法宝法身是无二
The
无别
three
的。
kayas
那
of
么这样的
Tara
这
are
种
inseparable.
这个白三盖啊，就是白三盖这个就是这个杜牧呢，实际上是所有的
This
这个天
Tara,
王，就是像地
Siddhartha
神天啊、大
Patra,
自
is
在天啊，以
venerated
及
by
这
all the
个
kings of
什
the
么边
host
如
of
天啊，
divine
就是
beings,
那么就是
such
所有
as
的这些
Indra,
天王呢，就没有一个不
Maheshvara,
恭敬
and
的，
Vishnu.
都是像天王的恭
They
敬的
all
话呢，
honor
那
her.
人王就更不用说了，这什么国
Since
家主
even
席
the
啊、
divine
总统啊，
beings
还有
revere
这个
Tara highly,
什么这个总
it
理
is
啊，
without
就是
doubt
国
that
王
human
啊，这
kings,
些都是应该
national
就是像
presidents,
像
prime
这个杜牧
ministers
基尼啊，就
should
是不管是
venerate
任何一
Tara
个国
as
家的
well.
首相呢，我觉得是他们应该就是像天界的
Whichever
天王都要
national
定义
leader
的话
it
呢，
is,
就更何
he
况
or
是我
she
们这
should
个
follow
人
the
间的，
divine
人间的
kings
其
to
实是
pay
这个
homage
即
to
使一个人
Tara.
头应该就是也没有
Considering
没
that
有
leaders
什
of
么吧，就应
mankind
该是这
only
样
lead
想
at
的。
most
还有这
several
个
billion of
天
people,
人啊，就是
they
这
are
个天
incomparable
人
to the
和
celestial
这个
kings
时间
who
当中还
lead
有
a
什么
retinue
山
of
神啊、
numerous
河神
gods.
啊、这个宿神啊，就是有很多的这种
In
神啊，
addition,
还有这个
gods,
废人，
worldly
包括一
spirits,
些阿修
such
罗
as
啊，
mountain
还
spirits,
有一
river
些这个
spirits,
夜叉、
tree
就是罗
spirits,
刹，就
Kinnaras,
是恶鬼，他们当时
Asuras,
是世间当中的
Yakshas,
所有的这些众
Rakshas,
神呢，
and
没有
hungry
一个不
ghosts,
恭敬
and
的，没
more,
有一个不
all
恭敬的。
venerate
所
and
以，
take
当我们
refuge
就
in
是遇到了
Tara.
一些就是世间当中，就是不管是你觉得这
Therefore,
是一种
when
恐怖
you
的
are
这
caught
种
up in
这
certain
个
frightening
现象啊，这
circumstances,
个时候你
you should pray to
马上
Tara
啊，这个祈祷
immediately.
杜牧，就是有这样的话呢，那么世间的一
With
切
her
的这种
blessing,
鬼神和非人
disturbances from
和或者说
non-human
是
beings,
其他的这个
malicious
什
spirits,
么这个
or
灵魂啊，
ghosts
就
will be
各种附
pacified.
体啊。我们现在很多这个有些这个说各种各样的一些这个非人啊，
Nowadays,
那么这
there are
些
all
呢，就
kinds
全
of
部都是
disturbances
以
from
这个干
demonic
扰啊。以
influences.
前有些人经常说是有附体，我都经
Some
常给
people
他们就是
often
建
talk
议
about
让他
being
们念这
possessed
个
by
杜牧
malicious
信主啊。
non-human
让杜牧
spirits,
信主的话呢，
and
就
my
应该就是
suggestion to
牵除
them
一些
is
非
to
人的这
recite
个
the Tara
危害，
mantra,
甚至我
as
们有
it
时
can
候呢，
dispel
就
such kind
是
of
可能
harm.
做的这个噩梦啊，
Tara
或
can
者说
also
是
help
就
to
身
drive
身
away
心
our
就是不愉
nightmares,
快，这些都是
pacify
这
our
个杜牧
physical
可以
and
去
mental
牵住的。
discomforts.
也就是说呢，就是披上这样的这个铠甲，就是披上什么样的
So,
铠甲
we
呢？
should
我
put
们
on
就
the
心
armor
里
of
面呢，就是经
protection,
常这个观想就是杜牧的
which
身
is to
像，就是
visualize
这个
Tara's
心里面这
appearance
样的
in
这
our
个披上
mind.
铠甲。还有呢，就是口里面呢，就是经常念诵21
Recite the
章、
praises
21
to
杜
the
牧章，
21
或者说
Taras
是念他
or
的咒
the
语的
mantra
这
of
这样的
Tara
这个铠甲。
regularly.
如果有这样的话呢，那么就是对这个杜牧法门的这个欢喜心，对杜牧
With
法
the
门的这
power
个
of our
信心，对
delightfulness,
杜牧法门的这个
devotion,
恭
and
敬心啊，
veneration to
以这
Tara,
个为得你的话呢，就是能这个牵除啊实践当中的各种各样的这个战争，国
we
家
will
与
be
国家之间，
protected from
那么这
wars
个
and
民族与民
disputes
族之
between
间，就是人与
countries,
人之间，
races, and
甚至的
families,
话呢，就是这一
as
家
well
和
as
我一
conflicts
家之
among
间，
Dharma
然后
friends.
道友与道友之间呢，有时候是我们这个人呢，
When
心里
we
面
are
就是有一些
influenced
这
by
个产
malicious
生一些非人
non-human
的这种
spirits,
这个危害的话呢，就经常呢就是看不惯这个，
we
经常
will
看不惯这
become
个，
very
包括我们
critical of
学佛法
others.
的一些出家人
This
也
can
好，有些
happen to
居士的话
Buddhists,
呢，也可以看
monastics,
出来
and
这
lay
是不
practitioners
有
alike.
些事情呢，信就是
They
根本就是不
despise
和合的，
others in
就
their
表面
minds,
上就是可以这个
yet
就
they
是笑
still
一笑，
smile
就是
at
但
each
是
other
笑的
when
话
they
呢，就是
meet.
如根本没有笑，
Only
就是
that
然
is a
后
full smile.
就没有
Their
没有
inner
笑啊，
feelings
就是
can
没
be
有笑，就是
detected.
内在的这个所作所为的话呢，都可以看出来，就这是一种
Such
这个小战争
disharmony
啊，这个
is a
小
form
战争
of
呢是家
small
庭的
war.
战争，就是大战争的话呢，就是东西方国家的战争，就是第二次世界大战、第一
Normally,
次
big
世界大
wars
战。
are
其实
wars
很多
between
人在家人
countries
的话，家里
like the
也是
World
有
War I
类
and
似的
World
就
War
是第一次
II,
世界大战和
but
第二次
between
世界
some
大战。
family members, they have their
尤其
own
是
World
在
War
世界
I
大
and
战
World War
当中，就
II.
完全已经这个失
Some of
败
the
了，牺
family
牲了，就
members
是
have
也
been
有这样的。
completely defeated in these
还有
wars.
呢，就是做的这个噩梦啊，
In
就是晚
terms
上
of
这个
having
做
nightmares,
噩梦的话，那就是有各种
it
原
can
因嘛，
happen
有
due
些
to
呢就是
various
因为这个
reasons.
四大不调，就是身体这个不适而这
Some
个
of
造
them
成
are
的。有些
caused
呢
by the
确实
physical
是有一些
imbalance of the
这个
four
冤家债
elements,
主啊，或者是
and
一些
some by
非
harms of malicious non-human spirits or karmic creditors. These harms can be relieved or eliminated through the blessing of Tara. When some Dharma friends have a nightmare, "Oh, I had a nightmare last night and it seems not good. What should I do?" Even if the nightmare suggests omniscient signs, it can be dispelled by Tara's swift blessing. Nowadays, wars are happening around the world from time to time. If we pray to Tara, it will help end the wars and promote world peace. Yet, if the war is inevitable, praying to Tara helps one to gain victory. It's said that in ancient India, there were two kings who fought for many years. One king was named Kumicha and the other was Ashoka. King Ashoka had a strong military and considerably good weapons. In many aspects, King Ashoka was stronger than King Kumicha. So he was confident to defeat King Kumicha and became a little relaxed. However, King Kumicha came up with an idea. He called up all his generals and soldiers to pray to Tara for 7 days. Altogether, they recited the praises to the 21 Taras for 100,000 times. Some Indian troops would do so at that time. So when the two troops fought again, King Ashoka noticed that King Kumicha's troops became much stronger than before. Also, while they were fighting, a great number of female warriors in black appeared in King Kumicha's troops and fought ferociously. Their faces were fearsome and horrifying. Ashoka's soldiers couldn't fight them off and lost the battle. It's very likely that Tara liberated and transferred the consciousness of the dead soldiers to pure realms. I'm not completely certain about this, but one thing for sure is that Tara would never harm sentient beings. This story shows Tara's immediate response to beings' request. As long as one prays to Tara devotedly, she would definitely reach out even if it's a villain. In the time of ancient India, there was a Theravada bhikshu. He rejected Mahayana teachings, burned lots of Mahayana texts in the fire, and slandered Tantrayana. This irritated the king, who demanded that the bhikshu should be punished. When the king's men came to arrest him, the bhikshu felt terribly scared and went before a stone statue of Tara nearby that he saw before and prayed to her. Besides the statue, there was a small ditch. As he prayed, the statue started to speak. "Get into the ditch." The bhikshu thought, "It is too small to fit in my body. How is it possible for me to hide there?" However, having no time to think too much, the bhikshu got into the ditch. He hid there and successfully escaped from the search of the king's men. Thereafter, he generated a strong faith in Tara. It seems that Tara will extend her help to those who slander Mahayana teachings. In fact, whoever prays to her will receive her response due to her unfailing vows. Gradually, beings whom Tara had helped will become regretful for what they had done and confess their misdeeds. So I think whatever we encounter in life, be it a nightmare or an adverse situation, we should pray to Tara immediately. When I was young and herding yaks, there were times that I couldn't find my yaks. Then I would pray to Tara. Sometimes I feel embarrassed that I had to trouble Tara with small matters like this. But it had become a habit to pray to Tara whenever I'm worried. And her blessing is indeed very powerful. But we should not lose faith in Tara if things don't turn out the way we expected after praying to her. Because when your karma has fully ripened, you need to experience it. No one, not even Tara, could alter it, as the effect has matured. But if there is a slight chance to make a change, Tara will help us. The more sincere we are, the swifter her blessing is. As mentioned in the teaching on the seven-line prayer, if you have a strong feeling and genuine sincere devotion when praying, whether it's to Tara or Padmasambhava, they will resonate with your prayers and respond. However, if you don't have any feelings, even worse, you doze off when reciting the mantra. Will you receive her response? Undoubtedly, merely reciting the mantra also accumulates merit. Yet, whether one attains accomplishments in Yidam practices or not is very much related to one's conduct and attitude. Above explained C4. Now, C5. Praise for the activity of pacifying plagues and diseases. Homage to you, whose two eyes shine with luster, bright with the fullness of the sun and moon. With twice utter Hara and Dudare, you pacify the most intractable plagues and diseases. 那么这个叫做是，也叫做是南若度母，就是阿难若的，就是南若度母，也有这种说法。还有呢，This Tara is called Tara Sabari or Brahmaritroma. Tara, the dweller in the mountains, or Tara for pacifying plagues. 这个深色是应该是这个。 She is yellow-red in color, holding an utala flower on which is a jewel container full of immortal nectar. The nectar can heal contagious diseases and plagues that make sentient beings suffer. Her two eyes are bright with radiance of sun or full moon. The radiance can dispel all kinds of suffering and diseases of beings. With twice utter Hara and Dudare suggests the way to recite her mantra. By reciting the mantra with Dudare and Hara twice, all the deadly epidemics and contagious diseases can be annihilated. Her mantra is Hara Suha Namo Namo 对，我们达里德达里就是这个是前面我们达里德达里就这个是一样的。然后呢说南无哈拉赫拉吽啊，就哈拉。The former part, Om Dari Dudari remains the same with Tara's root mantra. The later part, 也有就是两个哈拉就是两个哈拉也有，所以呢就是南无哈拉赫拉 has two hara and the former part has two dari. 当中的一切。 这个瘟疫啊、疾病啊，就是包括一些什么这个麻风病啊，就是现在这个事件当中呢，就是经常也。This mantra can pacify deadly epidemics and sicknesses in the world. Even some awful diseases in the world today, such as leprosy, cancer, and AIDS, can be removed swiftly by the blessing of Tara and her mantra. 会这个迁出的啊，以前西藏我们藏地呢，就是也是有这样比较这个大家都知道的故事啊，就是说是有一个地方的话呢，就是出现就是瘟疫啊， a plague struck an area that almost wiped out the entire population. People tried everything to control it, but to no avail. There was a practitioner in the mountain nearby who was in retreat for years. The villagers went to him for help. Through divination and observation, he told the people to hang the prayer flags of Tara everywhere in that region. There are not only Tara prayer flags in the Tibetan region, but prayer flags of Avalokiteshvara, Vajrasattva, etc. The local people followed the practitioner's advice. They chanted praises to Tara while hanging the prayer flags widely on many places. As the flags wavered in the wind, people who were touched by the wind were cured of the plague. And no outbreak of such diseases ever happened again. Hence, we should pray to Tara when a plague or intractable disease is going around. At the same time, we should also seek medical treatment. Some practitioners don't go to the doctor but wait to die passively when they get sick. They don't trust Chinese medicine, Tibetan medicine, nor Western medicine. This is not wise. We should believe the effectiveness of the medicine. It is said in Lama Yangtig that the miraculous power of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas is inconceivable. So are the potency of medicine and mantras. Similarly, mantras, both the mantra of Tara and the praises to the 21 Taras, have their inconceivable power as well. Yet, such power is unknown to those who are not experts in this area. It's like someone who has never learned about medicine may find Chinese medicine quite odd. They may wonder, how can mixed herbs treat illness? Likewise, people may wonder why a mantra with several syllables put together can be so powerful. A while ago, I met a teacher who asked, why is it that chanting prayer wheel can be of great merit? I explained briefly to him. He was holding some wrong views because he lacked a basic understanding of Buddhist teachings, nor the function of mantras from the worldly perspective. It seems that he needs to study for a long time to understand all of this. If I know nothing about Chinese medicine, it will also be difficult for me to accept them immediately. But I find the traditional Chinese medicine quite amazing. The way that the doctors of Chinese medicine diagnose is very simple. By looking at your tongue or your eyes, they are able to know your illness and prescribe herbal medicines accordingly. Actually, there are sciences behind the simple way of diagnosis, so it will be unreasonable for those who don't know anything about Chinese medicine to criticize it. Similarly, people who don't know about Buddhism may think that it's meaningless to hang prayer flags, hold a mala, turn a prayer wheel, and recite sutras. These activities are actually the opposite of meaningless. As materialism is deeply rooted in their minds, it is understandable that they would think this way. Yet we are fortunate to have the opportunities to learn about the logic of the blessing in Buddhism. For instance, in the Essence of Clear Light, it introduces the benefits and the blessing of samadhi and mantra. By learning this treatise, we will understand the logic behind, and moreover, will completely accept its point, as we cannot find any refuting point at all. So, we need to admit and be open-minded with mysterious things that can't be perceived by eyes, and mystical powers that can't be touched physically. If we cannot deny the existence of these things, let alone the profound meaning of Buddha Dharma that we have not yet realized completely.
啊、谢剑啊这些有必要的。
As
另一方面呢
Buddhists,
当我们这个
we
弘扬
must
佛法
study
的时候，我们身边还
systematically.
有很多人是，
On
有些
one
是故意
hand, it can dispel our doubts and
有些
wrong
是确
views.
实不懂，就是
On the other
所以
hand,
一直说
when we are
啊
propagating the
有种种情况
Dharma,
在这个时候
people
呢
will
佛教
raise
徒是
questions
并
to
不能
challenge
茫
you
然
or
不答
just because they don't know
就全是
Buddhism.
是点点头啊
In
或者是
times
说
like
我忙了
these,
我
we
不行
shouldn't
了
just
今天
keep
有事啊
silent
就不给你回
or
答
find an
那这种
excuse
其实
for
在
not
印度当中
answering
这是
their
一种相
questions.
似这个辩论啊就不合理
That
的
would
所以我
be
们应该要
inappropriate.
跟这个相关
On
的
the
人呢
contrary, we
经
should
常
work
要有
through
一些
their
说法
doubts
证
by
明这些
answering
是
questions
重要
in
的
accordance with the Buddhist
那么这
teachings.
是那个讲到了第多少个？就是第那个
Above
第
is
5个了，是吧？
C5.
咱们最后一个第6个呢，
C6
就是圆满一切事业而赞叹。
Praise for the
圆满一切事
activity
业
of
而赞叹
accomplishing all Dharma
啊，
activities.
顶礼具光生度母，
Homage
安
to
利一
you,
切
who
三
with the
真
set
理
of three
真人具
realities
寂
have the
灭未
miraculous
生
power
利
to pacify
垂摩气
supreme
势
duty.
夜叉中
You
垂
completely
摩气势
destroyed
夜
the
叉中
hordes of grahas,
那么这个是
vidlas,
顶
and
礼这个聚
yakas.
光父母，我们经常就是讲的是
This is
这
paying
个
homage
聚光
to
度母
Tara
聚光度母
Marichi,
的话，那就是
or
深色是白
Droma
色的
Osea Chema,
深色是白色
Tara
的
rays
然
of
后呢
light.
就是书上这个巫婆罗
She
花的
is
花
white in
上面
color.
应该是
In her hand,
这
she
个吉
holds
祥
a
金
utala
金色对
flower,
吧？这个吉
upon
祥
which
金
stands
色
a
玉
pair
这
of
个
auspicious
标志上
golden
应该是
fish.
有这个不知道看得到吧？
You should be able to see it from the picture. There stand the auspicious golden fish on the flower, right? Okay.
那么这个就是这个深度母的话呢，就是是我们通过怎么样这个修行呢？
So,
就是修
how
行
to
的方式呢
practice this Tara?
这个就是这个聚光这个度母啊，就是用这个
Visualize
三个真如
vividly
字
that
三
Tara
个
Marichi
真如字
with a
白
set
色
of
的这
three
个
syllables of
在
reality.
这个图钉
Om
上，
Ahom.
这个
Center at Tara Marichi's forehead is the white
然后
Om.
红色的啊字就是
At her throat
蓝
is
色
the
的这个
red
红字呢
Ah.
就是在这个心
And her
上
heart
那么就是
is
发
the
出
blue
这个
home.
三种光呢，就是让所有的这些众生的
Three
这个三
colors of
义
light
呢 变
radiate
成
from the
三种
syllables
金刚
and touch
啊，就
all
是变成
beings
这个欧玛红本性的这个三
and
种金刚。
transform their
那么安利
bodies,
一切三
speeches,
真如，
and
安利一切
minds
三真
into
如
the
就
Vajra
是
bodies,
欧玛红
Vajra
这个三个
speeches,
真如字啊，
and
这
Vajra
三个真如
minds.
字。那么
Who,
让
with the set of
很多
three
的这种这个
realities,
众生的话呢，
talks
真
about the
正
three
具足
syllables
这
of
个
Om
寂灭的这
Ahom.
种为生力。
The
什
light
么
of
寂灭
Tara
的为生力呢？
Marichi
平时
have
我
the
们这
power
个
to
三
bestow
界呢，就
beings
是
peace,
并没有就是这个智慧
have
啊、
the
慈悲啊，
miraculous
还有
power
这
to
个信
pacify.
心啊。
What does this
等
mean?
等，就是这些让你
Ordinary
让我们
beings
这个
lack
贪
many
嗔痴所有
qualities
的
such
就是
as
这些烦恼的
wisdom,
这个心，
compassion,
让
and faith.
实现呢，就是真正
With
他的
Tara
这个善的这
Marichi's
个为德
blessing,
力和功德力。
beings are
那么
free
这
from
样的时候
afflictions
呢，
and their
人这个
virtues
智
and
慧啊，就
qualities
是
are
人这个
revealed
智
then.
慧呢，实践当中的所有的这些邪魔歪道啊，还有呢，就是欺世这个恶事就欺世啊、
The
夜
light
叉、
of Tara
罗刹
Marichi
等
can
等，实
completely
践的
destroy
各种
all
各
kinds
样
of
的这些
evil
非
beings
人
in the
这个
world,
这个
such as
就是
grahas,
恶神啊，
vitalas,
就是
and
邪神等
yakshas.
等，就是这些都可以这个撤回的。也就是说呢，通过这个聚光伏魔的这种这个修
In
行啊，
sum,
然后它的这个
this
身口意
practice
呢，就
is
是
to
发出这个
visualize the
光，
light
让我们这
emanating
个
from the
其他的
three
这些
doors
众
of
生
Tara
呢，就是
Marichi,
身可以得以这个清净，包括这
which
种光呢，就是
purifies the
便于就是
bodies,
整个
speeches,
非人
and
啊，就
minds
是
of
整个一些
beings.
魔种啊，实践当中的所有的这些不利于
As the
我
light
们的这
reaches
个修
those
行
who
的这
create
些众
obstacles
生的
for
话呢，
Dharma
让他
practitioners,
们的相对
including
当中的
non-human
恶念
beings
呢，
and
就
demonic
得
beings,
以这个牵制，
we
并
can
且呢，就是
dispel
让
their
他们
evil
也获
thoughts
得了这个安乐，而
and
且
bring
呢，
forth
他们就是
happiness
经常
both
就
to
是危害了
themselves
这些众
and
生
the
呢，更
subjects
要
they
获
harm.
得这个快乐。所以，我们修度魔法呢，其实也并不是就是像那个其他的有
The
些国家
practice
就
of
是利用
Tara
一
is
些
nothing
飞
like
武
the
器来
use
就
of
是让他以
military
擦来
and
剑
nuclear
当中就是
weapons
把
of
对
some
方摧毁
countries
无余啊，不
that
是这
try
样
to
的，
wipe
应
out
该是
enemies
一
in
种
seconds.
特别就是有力的一种
It
这
is
个修行
actually
方
an
法吧，就是有
exceptional
力的一
powerful
种这个修行
practice
方法。那么对方呢，就是也离
that
开了
frees
这种
those
痛
who
苦。
seem to
以
be
前那个
destroyed
我
by
不知道
Tara
讲过
from
没有，就
suffering.
是好像前一段时间可能稍微提过吧。吉田菩萨的一个弟
There
子呢，
is
就
a
是叫
story
做
about
吉田菩萨
Master
啊，就是织田菩
Janadeva,
萨。
who
那么
was
织田仁
a
寺呢，就是他
disciple of
自己的这个地
Shantideva.
方呢，就是弘扬很长时间的这个
After
佛法。后来
studying
呢，
and
就是
teaching
他
for
到
a
北
long
岳
time
山
in
去
South
去这个
India,
修行。
he went
然
to
后呢，就是
meditate
后来受
in
到
the
就是
snow
北岳地方的一
mountains.
些邀请，就是
When he came to a small town, the town was experiencing the harm from evil spirits. From history, we know that in ancient India, in some regions, regions, evil spirits like Rakshas and Yakshas were rampant, and they brought great harm to people. Many people in the district died from the harm of non-human spirits. Corpses were everywhere. When the master arrived, he saw a terrible risen corpse or zombie came running. There are many folklores about zombies in the Tibetan region. In Han region, there were similar stories as well. However, there hasn't been many cases nowadays. Last year, a Dharma friend told me that he saw a corpse before he went to sleep. He was terrified that the corpse might rise at night, so he stayed up all night. Generally, such cases are rarely heard now. But in the past, zombies were nothing unheard of. Back to the story. When the zombie was running, Master Janadeva threw his purba towards the zombie on which he had recited Tara's mantra with. When his purba hit the zombie, it collapsed to the ground immediately. Yet its consciousness was transferred to the Pure Land. Through Master Janadeva's invocation to Tara, there fell a rain of nectar with the power of resurrecting the deceased, and the dead town people came to life again. This is a very unusual story, and I believe that we should pray to Tara Maharishi consistently. At Larongar, we used to recite the mantra and prayers of Tara Maharishi to dispel certain negative circumstances. In this degenerate age, we will inevitably encounter certain obstacles throughout our practices. Some think that life is full of happiness, which is not true. On the contrary, life is full of suffering. This is what all of us should acknowledge and accept. Not knowing this, we may not have the courage to face suffering when it befalls. Now, knowing that suffering is pervasive in life, what matters the most is to recognize it, deal with it, and transform it for the path of enlightenment. At this time, we need to pray to Tara so we can transform suffering and obtain real happiness with her blessing. This is the praise of the root mantra with 21 verses of homage. This is the praise of the root mantra, means that in this praise, different syllables of the root mantra, such as Tare, Dure, and Soha, appear in different verses. So, all the syllables of the root mantra are included in the praise. With 21 verses of homage means it praises the noble qualities of Tara from 21 aspects. In essence, Tara is inseparable from Samatha Bhartri. Yet, like Avalokiteshvara, who appears in various forms in front of different sentient beings, Tara has 21 forms in general. All forms of Tara can be included in these 21 forms. If we are to analyze this more specifically, there are actually infinite forms of Tara. This is the praise of the root mantra with 21 verses of homage. This phrase is always recited along with the praise. There is also a brief prayer to Tara. I pray to you, noble Savioress Tara. May you protect us from all danger, fear, and suffering. This is called the brief prayer to Tara. If you don't have enough time to recite the praises to the 21 Taras, you can recite this short prayer often. That's the way to recite in Tibetan. As long as you're willing to, it's easy for you to pray with this prayer at any time and anywhere. Noble Savioress Tara, please be compassionate. Bless me and know me. I pray to you to protect me from all danger, fear, and suffering. Praying to Tara can protect us from suffering and fear. The Tibetan term jikdang means danger and fear. Generally, there are 8 great fears. For instance, the fear of venomous snakes, the fear of floods, the fear of fire, and the fear of elephants. Not only these great fears can be removed, fears in the modern world, such as economic crisis, can be dispelled as well. So, praying with this short prayer is crucial. Avalokiteshvara is considered as the one who helps the needy and relieves the distressed with great love and compassion. It is the same with Tara. If all of us can pray to Tara consistently, her powerful blessing will be well received and brings great benefits to many beings. Ju Mipham Rinpoche mentioned this in his merits of hundreds of mantras. He indicated that this mantra can dispel all disorientations and purify all the non-virtues. It is also the essence of the mantras of the 5 Buddha consorts. By reciting Om Tare Tare Ture Soha on a regular basis, it can protect us from all disasters. In places like Taiwan and Singapore, many masters said that the more one recites this mantra, the prettier one will be. That's why many females like to recite this mantra very much. As long as you pray to Tara with either the mantra or this praise, you will fulfill your wishes and bestow all kinds of cities. The Larong Sangha will recite a brief prayer composed by Mipham Rinpoche regularly. You have recited this before, right? No? Alright. Yes? You have recited the mantra for 700,000 times? That was when His Holiness Jigme Phuntsol Rinpoche was still with us, right? Every one of us had recited the Tara mantra for 700,000 times at that time. I will not request you to recite that much, but I hope that everyone could recite the Tara mantra for 10,000 times within a year. I will do this too. I would expect all of you who are here today and those who are watching the videos to at least complete the 10,000 times of Tara mantra and 100 times of the praises to the 21 Taras within a year. This is not too much for you to finish. If we recite the praises to the 21 Taras for one time at our Dharma class every day, by this rate, 100 times of accumulation will be finished in about 3 months. Whether we recite the praise together in class or you do the practice individually, together, our practice in this year will enable all participants to make an auspicious connection with Tara. I hope that all of you can join this collective practice, and I will surely join. Many signs have proven that our teaching and learning the Tara practice this time is very auspicious. As for me, I have engaged in the Tara practice since childhood. Although I didn't have significant experiences or amazing stories, I have great faith in it. So, I think I'm qualified to teach you this praise. I'm kind of proud of myself with my faith in Tara. Since young, I had great joy towards this practice. In my school days, Buddhism was at a low ebb, and whoever practiced Buddhism would be expelled if caught reciting Buddhist prayers and mantras. Even at that time, I never stopped my practice and just recited silently. I have a firm faith in this practice. Now I have given the entire transmission to you, and throughout the whole teaching, I have kept praying to Tara that may Tara grant her compassionate blessing so that every one of you can receive her blessing quickly. And your wishes are fulfilled under her glorious blessing. We should also aspire to build Tara statues in Han area when there are opportunities. There are many Tara shrines in the Tibetan region. Usually, the statues of the 21 Taras are placed in a giant hall. To build such shrines in the Han region shouldn't be difficult, but I'm not sure whether Buddhist masters there have such interest or not. If statues of Tara and Padmasambhava can be placed in big cities of Han region, Buddhism would definitely flourish there. In the age of degeneration, with a swift blessing bestowed by powerful deities, favorable conditions for propagating Dharma will come together spontaneously. Our newly built shrine hall will install 3 principal statues: Buddha Shakyamuni, Tara, and Padmasambhava. I made this proposal yesterday and the board of our academy had approved. I hope that in the future, Tara statues can be seen everywhere, and there will be more people reciting the praises to the 21 Taras. With this auspicious origination, obstacles for personal practice and Dharma propagation can be removed. Furthermore, favorable conditions will gather. Okay, let's finish here.